Singapore imports 90% of its food. Imagine that. Food sourced from over 170 countries arriving at our doorstep just in time for dinner. But we're all starting to see the effects that climate change and geopolitical changes can make on this arrangement. Maybe we should start providing more food options for ourselves. So what can we do to strengthen our food security? Perhaps the answer is right under our noses, or in this case, up on our roofs. The Singapore Green Plan 2030 is now an important step towards our future. As the world wakes up to the realities of being eco-friendly, some of us are already well on our way. Join me, Belinda, as I discover how Singapore is going green and how Singaporeans are incorporating eco-practices in the comfort of their homes. This is GreenHome. In February 2021, the Singapore Green Plan 2030 was launched, a whole-of-nation agenda to combat climate change and to promote long-term sustainability for the country. The idea is to ensure that Singapore can produce 30% of its country's nutritional needs locally by 2030, aka strengthening our food security. But before I get going, I'll be joined by a very special guest, Minister of State for Sustainability and the Environment, Desmond Tan.
Hi, Belinda.
Hi, MOS Desmond Tan. It's so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
As Minister of State for Sustainability and the Environment, you are the perfect person to tell us more about the Singapore Green Plan.
Yes, thank you. The Singapore Green Plan that was launched recently in February this year is really a national movement. Well, the Green Plan underscores our commitment and our strategy to tackle climate change, and by doing so to set concrete and ambitious targets over the next 10 years. So under the Green Plan, actually there are 5 pillars. The first is a city in nature. The second pillar is sustainable living. And the third area is about energy reset. The fourth area is green economy. And finally, a resilient future. This is the last pillar. And this is looking at how can we make climate resilient come to pass in Singapore in terms of safeguarding our coastline as the sea level rises, in terms of cooling the urban heat that we face here in this city, and finally, strengthening our food security and resilience in Singapore.
As part of strengthening food security, I know you have this goal that's called 30 by 30.
Yes.
Can you tell me more?
Yes, the 30 by 30 goal essentially is a plan for us to reduce our dependence on foreign food imports.
Right.
So today we actually imported more than 90% of our food supply.
Yes.
And this can be quite disruptive whenever we encounter a pandemic like we did last year.
Yes.
So the whole idea 2 years ago is that we wanted to set a target called the 30 by 30 goal, which actually sets out our local food production to meet 30% of our nutritional needs by the year 2030. And so we are therefore investing in new technology and also trying to encourage our local farmers to find new methods to ramp up the production of food in our Singapore.
Speaking of local farmers, that's the reason why we're here today. I want you to meet somebody.
Okay,
Yes,
here?
a local farmer right here.
All
Let's
right,
go.
Let's go.
So tell us more about yourself, how you started Citiponics.
All right, so firstly, a warm welcome to Citiponics Urban Vertical Farm
Thank
in
you.
Ang Mo Kio. Citiponics was really started in 2016 to really tackle challenges such as food security, food sustainability, as well as productivity issues and climate change. So for us, we started it to change the way the locals connect to their food source. And you can see that our farm here is actually located really at the heart of the community here.
So tell me, how does Citiponics work?
We started it to really connect the locals to their food source in a way that, reimagine the way that they think what farming should be. And then we also introduce our farming methodologies into local primary schools to raise awareness about like sustainable forms of farming methodology.
There's so many ways of farming, but why do you choose urban farming?
With respect to urban farming, is really meaningful as we really get to connect to the community by bringing the farm to the neighborhood itself. So what you see here is actually our aqua organic system. It's a farming system made out of nutrients and water flowing through these vertical towers. And for us here, this aqua organic system was really designed with sustainability in mind to allow us to grow more with less. So we created these and developed these within Singapore itself. And the entire system here actually has a few, I would say, features that are related to a more sustainable form of farming. So one of it is like a zero waste farming process. So every component here is actually reusable and recyclable. Yeah, and secondly, in terms of water footprint, everything is kept in a closed loop system. So we actually utilize 1% of like traditional farming methods water consumption, and we also harvest rainwater as well.
Can we actually get our hands on and trying to harvest some of the vegetables now?
Yes, let's get to it.
You know, Citiponics is actually a new breed of tech startups in Singapore that have more than just profits in mind. You know, in fact, they're looking into the future with sustainability in mind. In this case, it's homegrown vegetables.
Yes, indeed, it's a very eye-opening experience, and it kind of changes the way we look at farming and the potential to unlock alternative spaces in our community. Right? It is very heartwarming to see local companies stepping forward to contribute to the 30 by 30 goal and towards the Singapore Green Plan.
Yeah. So how do you think we, in the comfort of our homes, can take this idea and run with it?
Actually, there's a lot of potential to bring this system into the comfort of our own home, right?
You know something? There are some spirited Singaporeans who are already doing so.
Really?
Yes.
We have to go and take a look.
Let's go meet them.
Let's go.
Hello, Belinda, how are you?
I'm good.
Good to see you today. Welcome to the Active SG Community Garden.
Nice to meet you. Meet MOS Desmond.
Hi, Han Chong.
Hi,
Nice to
hi.
meet you. Han Chong,
Yes.
Belinda was telling me that you are pretty much into sustainability.
That's right.
How did it all begin?
I had a chance to join the Nature Society, learning about all the wonderful birds and animals in Singapore.
Okay.
And now with the climate emergency, I felt that I had to do my part to help create a cleaner environment.
And before the gardening and the community garden, were you doing something else?
That's right. So with 4 friends, actually, we set up a community startup, understanding the landscape of food in Singapore. It's called Foodscape Collective. We went about understanding how Singaporeans can actually grow food in Singapore, either in a community garden, at home, or with support our local farms, and how even with food scraps, instead of throwing away into the bin, we can actually feed my favorite pets, which are my earthworms at home.
Did you just say your pets?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, can I go look at your pets
Yes,
at
of
your
course.
place?
Yes,
And
sure.
also to find out more about food compost?
Yes.
Please come ahead. This is where I actually keep my pets. Just put them right here. So usually I just keep them moist, make sure that it's not too hot for them.
Oh, they're so tiny.
Yeah, tiny. So these are some of the basic ingredients that you can use to make your own vermicomposting system.
Wow.
So we start off with trays like this, so we can actually cut it up.
Like that?
Yeah, with some water.
Good.
Yeah, so just shred them.
Okay.
For something more natural, potatoes as
Right.
well. And when these ingredients break down, then they'll release food for them as well. And these worms will sometimes, oh look, one of them is trying to escape, because usually when they're shaken earlier, they might feel that it's an unstable environment. So we will put them together with some of the soil. Just put it on top of the cardboard. Veggies, you can actually shred it if you want. I usually, if I'm done with a coffee bag, I dry them up so it's easier to actually tear it out, put back.
Okay.
So we can just feed them back to the worms as well. After that, we can also top up with more soil, and then you'll be perfect.
Tell me, why is compost so important?
We understand that Singapore creates quite a fair amount of food waste. There's almost about
7.7 million
tons of food waste in Singapore. And this method here actually helps me connect to nature, connect to the soil. I think it just helps me do my own part.
I think it's also about being environmentally friendly, right? So you do a part to try and close the loop. I call it the food loop, right? So you consume, you produce the food, and you consume them, and whatever is not being consumed, then you kind of recycle back. So to me, the Green Plan is nothing more than actually individual, households, the community, organizations and businesses, everybody coming together, in this journey that will bring us to a more sustainable future.
How do you feel after seeing everything that we saw today?
Belinda, I think it's such a fruitful day that we had. First, we get to see Citiponics, and we witness how alternative spaces can be activated in our community to increase our food supply and make sure that we meet the resilience, food resilience that we need for Singapore. And then we have residents like Han Chong who actually bring the whole idea of recycling and as well as best practices for food security into their homes. So I think that is very promising for us as far as our food security and recycling is concerned.
Yeah, I think that Singapore is definitely on its way to its goal, the 30 by 30 goal. And to see companies like Citiponics and citizens like Han Chong paving the way for us with their sustainable practices, I believe all of us can do the same thing too. Do you agree?
Yes,
I'm very
totally.
inspired. So perhaps you are already building an urban farm on your own, or maybe you're planting some spices in your vertical garden. So do share and upload these beautiful videos and pictures and show it to us and hashtag us on GreenHome Challenge. Desmond, I can tell you do housework.
Thank you.
Am I right?
I look like I do housework.
Try.
Don't worry, they
won't bite, right?
They don't bite.
Right?
Yeah, farmer's best friend.
Micro massage.
It's too small, so can't feel anything. Oh, no.